It's a Thursday night, and I know we don't normally do it, that's ridiculous. But it's Halloween, and we're here in the Deer Hut. We've got ghost stories. We've got lots of other things to talk about, all things Halloween. But before that, what have you come dressed as?
I've come dressed as Bette Midler, who starred in Hocus Pocus. This is what she came dressed as.
Winifred Sanderson.
Oh, I think
That's your
so.
name, yes?
Winifred Sanderson.
Sanderson
Well,
Sisters.
I just remember Bette Midler.
If you're not watching, I implore you to watch because it's a sight that should be seen. What have you got on?
Are you saying sight?
Sight.
Sight.
Yes.
Well, that's not nice.
No, it's you're a vision. You're a vision of Halloween wonder.
Well, it's a diff. Enjoy a sight means a mess.
No, I would never say that. Can you tell everybody what you've got on?
I've got a green satin
Cloak.
velvets, and a purple dress
With sparkles on.
with sparkles on for Halloween.
You've got the Winifred Sanderson trademark red lip.
Dress, everything as it should be.
The ginger wig.
The ginger wig.
And a heavy green eyeshadow. You do look
Well,
fantastic.
I haven't looked in the mirror yet.
I think that's probably a good idea.
Is it?
Well, thank you for the effort, because I didn't dress up, actually. We thought we'd leave the costume to you.
Well, it's easier for you, isn't it?
Very easy, yes. But you look fantastic. The wig is fantastic. The cape's fantastic. You've actually even got a Joe McElderry ribbon holding your cape up. I've just noticed that. Look, she's got a Joe McElderry embellished. It's got my logo on.
It
So-
just shows you.
How are you feeling about Halloween this year?
Well, I'm going to be dressed like this to sell the merchandise
Oh, are you?
at the Halloween evening.
And what was Halloween like for you when you were a child?
Well, what I can remember, we had a bowl full of apples,
Yes.
and you had to put your hands behind your back and try and get the apple out the water.
Ducky apple.
Uh-huh.
I think people still
Well,
do
I
that
had-
now.
We used to scrape turnips out. Used to take you ages. Wasn't like the pumpkin.
So
thing.
turnips were before the pumpkin?
Yes.
Yes.
And you made a face on, carried it round with a string.
Can you remember your earliest Halloween costume?
It wasn't much.
What, people didn't get dressed up then?
No, not really.
Did they not?
No, not like you
Not like
do
now.
This is
Like
American.
us, you mean you?
This is American. Well, I have to sell the merchandise.
I love that you're using selling the merchandise as the excuse for why you're dressed up like that. Did you trick or treat back then?
No,
No.
no.
Why?
Well, I can't remember trick or treat. I think that's an American thing as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Halloween's like much bigger in America than it is here,
Yeah.
isn't it? Remember, did we go to Disney once and for Halloween and all the streets weren't there? Remember where we stayed?
It
They
was,
had all the decorations outside and everything. Do you remember
yeah,
that?
but I think it was always like that.
Yeah.
It was a special year we went.
Have you got a favourite Halloween film?
Hocus Pocus. That's the only one
And
I know.
I taught you the famous quote. Oh, look. Another.
No.
I've just taught you it upstairs. Oh, look. Another glorious morning makes
And makes me sick.
And then when she summons her sisters, remember? Sisters!
Yes. Yes.
You remember
It
that
was a
one?
good film.
Yes. Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Well, I don't know. What do you mean by ghost?
Well, have you ever seen a ghost?
With spirit?
Yeah. Spirits, ghosts, paranormal activity.
I have seen. Well, no, I haven't.
No?
No.
Well, so basically the other week I went to see a show. Actually, I say it was the other week. It was in the summer. I went to see a show at a theatre in the Northeast. I posted this on TikTok, so if you already heard this story, sorry, but it's quite a funny story. And I was sat next to one of my best friends, Ashley, and we were watching the show in the theatre, and the curtain had gone down for the interval, and we'd gone to the bar, get a drink, we sit back down, and there was like 6 people in the row. Everybody knew each other, and she like flinched all of a sudden. So I was talking to somebody on the left, she was on the right. She flinched, and she like turned around. She was like, "Have you just slapped me?" And I went, "Sorry." She went, "Have you just slapped me?" And I said, "No." And she was like, "Somebody's just slapped us on the forehead." Right. So we started hysterically laughing because I was like, "This girl's lost the plot. Like, what you talking about?" She was like, "Joe, I swear to God, somebody has just slapped us." Like the sensation of somebody slapping us on the forehead. And I saw her head like move back. So she was really freaked out, and she said, "I can't settle now for the rest of the show. Like, I feel really uncomfortable. And, you know, it's made us feel like I've got anxiety about it." When we left the theatre, we Googled, and it was that apparently a man had died in that venue, and there's a seat in the venue, and anybody who sits in that venue gets really weird things happen to them, and they feel a really cold sensation around them or some paranormal activity. So
The band played Believe It If You Like. Oh,
so you don't believe that?
I don't.
Well, how did
think
she
so.
think she got slapped?
Maybe you were sitting next to her and
To be
give
fair,
her
I
a
would.
slap.
Yeah, would probably give each other a slap. To be fair, right. We're going to play a little game, and it's Trick or Treat with Hilda and Joe. So if you're listening at home or you're watching at home, you can join in. I'm going to give you a little quiz with some answers, right?
Crikey.
So, what was the name of Dracula's home?
Dracula's.
Home, his house.
Haven't got a clue.
No?
I didn't know he had a house. I thought it was a castle.
Well, actually, I think she's right about that, actually. But, do you know the name? No. Transylvania.
All right.
Right? What was the first feature-length horror movie ever?
Well, I don't know, because I wouldn't have went to see horror movies.
Can you try and guess what year it would have been?
You mean that Dracula was in?
No, the first feature-length horror movie.
Well, it was before I was born.
That is right.
32.
Very close. 1922. And
right.
it was Nosferatu. Did you know that? No.
No,
Right, next. What is a group of witches called?
a coven.
Yes. You're the head witch, dressed like that.
Good.
Right. What was the original name of Mike Myers in Halloween?
I haven't got a clue. I don't even know who Mike Myers is.
The Shape.
Oh,
You'll know this one because you've just said it. What was the vegetable that was originally used to carve jack-o'-lanterns before pumpkins?
turnips.
Exactly. What does a full moon on Halloween signify according to legend?
A full moon.
What does it signify?
The rising from the dead.
Yes. It increases paranormal activity, werewolves and spirits. Well done. In Beetlejuice, what is the name of the handbook the dead receive?
I haven't got a clue. I'm not a horror person.
The handbook of recently deceased. What is the name of the Addams family butler?
Oh.
You know this, come on.
Oh, I do, but I forgot. Go on.
Lurch.
Oh, yeah.
How many times do you need to say Beetlejuice's name to summon him?
I don't know anything about who's Beetlejuice.
Well, but actually, if you think about this logically, if you used to say something else in the mirror to stop the spirits, how many times would you say it?
3 times.
Yes. What candy was handed out to trick-or-treaters during World War II due to the sugar rationing?
What candy was handed out or stopped, you mean?
No, handed out during World War II due to sugar rationing.
Rock.
Popcorn balls.
Never.
Did you have any of them?
No,
Maybe you didn't get
I've
them.
never heard of it. Popcorn.
Balls.
No, I didn't know that.
In Hocus Pocus, what are the names of the 3 Sanderson sisters?
I haven't got a clue.
Well, you're dressed as one of them.
Yes.
You've just said it before.
No.
You've forgot a name, haven't you?
You mean the who took the part?
No, their name's in the show. I said it before, it begins with a W.
Oh, I
Wi-
forgot, Joe.
Wi- ne-
Wi-
Win.
Winifred Sanderson.
Yes. Right, and the other two, the other one is
I don't know, Joe. I don't.
Sarah and Mary. Winifred, Sarah, and Mary. Right. Which phobia is used to describe the fear of Halloween?
I don't know.
I don't even think I can pronounce this. Samhainophobia. Samhainophobia. That's the fear of Halloween.
Well, if you had the fear of Halloween, what would you do?
Well, you'd be terrified. Well, you wouldn't go out on Halloween. And you wouldn't be sat next to you.
But how would you know that they had a fear?
Well, because you'd be terrified of witches and,
All right.
you know, people
Like-
have costumes. People are terrified
Like
of clowns.
the clowns, yes.
Yes. Right. I'm going to tell you a ghost story.
Go on
Are you
then.
ready?
Yes.
Are you sat comfortably?
Oh, I'm really terrified. Come on.
Right. This is, I've got the giggles now, sorry. This is the ghost of Bobby the Bard Bailey. Right? Back in the early 1950s, there was a man named Bobby the Bard Bailey, and he was the biggest name in theatre here in South Shields. Bobby was a larger-than-life character, always taking the lead role, always hogging the spotlight. Sounds like me. His most famous performance, A Streetcar Named Desire, Bobby played the title role of Stanley Kowalski, shouting his iconic line, "Stella!" night after night to packed houses. But one fateful evening, during the final act of the play, something strange happened. Just as Bobby bellowed "Stella" for the last time, the stage lights flickered and a chill filled the room. No one thought much of it, just some faulty electrics maybe. But when the curtains came down, Bob... I don't know why I've got the giggles. When the curtains came down, Bobby never got up. He had collapsed right there on the stage, his hand still reaching for the spotlight. They say it was a heart attack. Some whispered it was a curse. But ever since that night, Bobby's spirit has never truly left the theatre. The staff say that late at night, when the lights are dimmed and the audience has gone home, you can still hear Bobby's voice echoing through the empty halls, calling for Stella. But it doesn't stop there. 3 years ago, a local paranormal group decided to investigate the theatre. You know the type, right? Ghost hunters with all their fancy equipment. They set up cameras, EVP recorders, the whole lot. They went in ready to film a special on Bobby's ghost, hoping to catch a glimpse of him wandering the stage or hear him calling out for Stella. The group entered the theatre at midnight and they were never, ever seen again. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. Their cameras were found scattered across the stage, but all footage was blank. Some say Bobby didn't like being disturbed, that he's still angry, still trapped in that final performance, trying to finish what he started. The theatre's been locked up ever since. No one dares ever to enter after dark, and especially not near midnight. On nights when the mist rolls in from the sea, if you walk along the beach in South Shields, some people swear they see him, a shadowy figure in the old theatre clothes, pacing the sand, looking lost. They say Bobby's ghost wanders between the theatre and the beach, searching for the ending he never got, forever stuck in his final performance. But here is the part that gives me chills, Grandma. They say if you're near the theatre late at night and you listen very closely, you might hear it. His voice calling out over and over again, desperate, lonely. And if you're really unlucky, you might hear, Stella!
Where do you get the drink from?
Happy Halloween, everyone! Did you enjoy that?
I'm terrified now. We better not go the beach way home. Happy Halloween. Oh,
Do we
that
even
really
laugh?
frightened
Do we
me
even
to
laugh?
I haven't got one.
Come on. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our Halloween special. And before we go, there's only one thing to say. One, two, three. Cheerio.
Ho, 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 now.